In this video, we're going to learn some, but not all, of the rules surrounding square roots. And before you start this lesson, just make sure you're comfortable with finding basic square roots like the square root of 4, how to simplify square roots so they're as simple as possible, and your general rules for exponents. All right, so here are a few square root rules. Again, these are not all the square root rules, but square roots behave nicely with multiplication and division. So if I multiply two square roots, I can kind of join them together into a single square root. It also means I can go the other direction as well. If I had a square root, I can break it up over multiplication. And the same thing's true with division. If I'm dividing two square roots, I can join them together into a single one. Or if I had division of a fraction, or square root of a fraction, I can split it up into two separate ones. And this last one we're not really going to talk about, but it's just something I want to mention. If you take the square root of something squared, they cancel out. But if the square's on the inside, you have to add these extra absolute value things. It's not one we're actually going to talk about in this specific lesson, but it's just something I wanted you to see. And one important note, notice these rules do not work for addition. So the square root of a plus b is not the same as the square root of a plus the square root of b. All right, just plug in any numbers into that and you'll see it's not true. All right, so fully simplify the following expression. So we want to take these multiple square roots and simplify them down into simpler square roots. All right, so the first thing we could do is we could combine them using our rule that this is the same as one big square root of the insides being multiplied. And now we can actually just multiply things. We got to do 18 times 24. That's 432. And then x cubed, x to the 5th is x to the 8th, right? When we multiply those exponents, or those things together, we add the exponents. So 3 plus 5 is 8. All right, and now we just have to simplify this. So we can kind of do the number and the variable part separately. All right, so the square root of 432, we have to see if that's divisible by any of the perfect squares. Let's see, 81 doesn't work, 64 doesn't. 49 doesn't. 36 does work. So this is 36 times 12. And the square root of 36 is 6. All right, but 12 we can keep going. I know 12 is divisible by 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. So that's going to give me 12 square root of 3x to the 8th. So now the 3 is as simple as it's going to get. So now let's focus on the variable part. I have x to the 8th, and we take its square root. So we want to figure out what can I multiply by itself to get x to the 8th. And we just think about how exponents work, like we did here. We multiply them, we add the exponents. So if I'm multiplying these two powers of x together, I just add them together. So I could just keep trying this. And I see I get x to the 4th is going to be the answer, because x to the 4th times x to the 4th is x to the 8th. So the square root of x to the 8th is x to the 4th. Right, and that's going to be my final answer. So basically the number part of these problems is not going to be any different than simplifying square roots. I just take 432 and turn it into 12 square root of 3. And the variable part, all right, that's kind of the newest thing. The variable part, you just see what kind of power of x do you multiply by itself to get that thing on the inside. All right, so here's another one. All right, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this problem, but the way I would do is probably you can multiply the numbers on the outside. All right, 6 square root of 10x to the 5th times square root of 5x squared. And now we can do what we did in the last problem, is combining the square roots into a single square root by just multiplying the things on the inside. And then 50, we're trying to see if that's divisible by any perfect squares, and it is. 50 is 25 times 2. And 25, the square root of 25 is 5. All right, so I simplified the number part by getting the number inside the square root as small as possible. And now I just have left the variable part. All right, so this x to the 7th part. And one thing you'll do if you try to do this like we did the last problem, you won't ever find the powers of x that multiply by themselves to give you 7. And that's because for any odd number, you're not going to be able to find the exact power of x. All right, so what we're going to do instead of x to the 7th, we're going to focus on the kind of biggest even number, and it's just a separate x, because the biggest even number, if we just divide that number by 2, that's going to be the power of x that you multiply to get x to the 6th, right? Because I'm just x cubed times x cubed equals x to the 6th. All right, so for an odd number exponent, you're not going to be able to bring out the entire thing, so you just have to kind of subtract 1 and focus on the even number, the biggest even number relative to that odd number. All right, here is one for you to try on your own. All right, simplify this expression as much as possible. I'll show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. And this one actually comes out really nicely because it comes out with no square root. 20 times 5 is 100, and the square root of 100 is just 10. I put 20, but it should just be 10. Right. And then x cubed times x is x to the 4th. And what's the square root of x to the 4th? You just divide that exponent by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is x squared. All right, so that's the full answer. All right, and it's obviously fully simplified because there's no square root anymore. All right, the other thing we'll look at is using division, specifically with just numbers. We're not going to use the variables with these ones, but really all you have to do is remember that you can split up square roots over the division bar. So I can split this up into the square root of 16 over the square root of 9. And as long as you know that fact, then you just do all of our normal simplifying stuff. The square root of 16 is 4, square root of 9 is 3. All right, so that's your final answer. This one, same thing. I can split this up into 2 separate square roots because there's a division bar in there, and I can split up square roots over division and just get 5 over 2. All right, really these ones are here just to let you or make you remember that if you have something that looks complicated, like how can I find the square root of this complicated fraction, just split it up and then you have 2 easier problems instead of 1 difficult problem. All right, here's one for you to try on your own. All right, what is the square root of 81 over 36? All right, you can pause the video and then I'll show you the solution in 3, 2, 1. It's 9 over 6, which is 3 over 2. So there's actually a couple ways you could do this. You could simplify your fraction first and then do the square roots. But for me, it's just obvious that 81 and 36 are the perfect squares. So I turn those into 9 and 6, and then I can simplify that fraction. All right, so go ahead and practice. The most complicated new thing might be working with the variables in the square root, but also combining those rules. If you're multiplying things, you can bring them together into a single square root. If you're dividing or taking the square root of a fraction, you can split it up to make it 2 simpler problems instead of 1 difficult problem.